Standing tall in the middle of the burning sand desert, the giant stone towers of Giza have defied time for thousands of years of history. Witnessing the rise and fall of empires, enduring the harshness of nature, the Great Pyramid still stands tall, containing countless unsolved mysteries. But beneath its magnificent appearance, what secrets does the Pyramid of Giza hide? What lies deep in the rooms that have been locked for millennia? Were there any advanced technologies that were forgotten during the construction process? And what is the true purpose of this great work? Is it simply a tomb for the pharaohs? Join us on a journey to discover the millennia-old secrets hidden deep within the Pyramid of Giza. What you are about to witness may completely change what you know about one of the greatest wonders of the ancient world. For centuries, the Great Pyramid of Giza stood as an enduring symbol of ancient Egypt, holding countless secrets deep within its walls. Then, in 2017, a surprising scientific discovery sparked a wave of excitement and curiosity around the world. Scientists, using an advanced technique called muon tomography, revealed the existence of a giant void, a secret chamber deep within the great structure. Estimated to be the size of a large passenger jet, the existence of this chamber has raised countless new questions about the architecture, purpose, and unexplored mysteries of the Giza Pyramid. To help you visualize the size of the newly discovered secret chamber in the Great Pyramid of Giza, imagine a large passenger jet. Scientists estimate that this chamber is about the size of a plane. In their quest to uncover the secrets of the Giza Pyramid, scientists have used the most advanced methods to see through layers of rock tens of meters thick. One of those breakthrough techniques is muon tomography, also known as muon tomography. Similar to the way X-rays are used in medicine to create images inside the body, muon tomography uses muons, subatomic particles produced by the interaction of cosmic rays with the Earth's atmosphere. Muons have capable of penetrating dense materials, such as rock, and by placing detectors around the pyramid, scientists have recorded their movement and absorption. The change in the muon flux revealed regions of different material density, and it was thanks to this method that the existence of a giant secret room inside the Great Pyramid was discovered, opening a new chapter in the study of this ancient architectural masterpiece. The unexpected discovery of a giant void, a secret room, hidden deep inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, has given rise to a series of fascinating hypotheses about its true purpose. Because, throughout the history of pyramid research, Egyptologists have never recorded or predicted the existence of an architectural space of such a massive size in this location. This opens up the first and perhaps most intuitive possibility. Is this a completely new architectural space, never known in the design and purpose of the pyramid? Perhaps the ancient Egyptian architects had complex calculations and unique ideas that we still cannot understand deciphered. This chamber may be part of a much more complex system of corridors and chambers than we have discovered, a missing link in the overall picture of the pyramid's interior structure. Another theory, with a strong spiritual and religious undertone, asks whether this secret chamber had a special ritual function. Ancient Egypt was a religious civilization, and every aspect of life, including the construction of great structures like the pyramids, could have had sacred significance. This chamber, with its special location above the Great Gallery, may have been reserved for important rituals, perhaps related to the pharaoh's mummification and preparation for his journey to the afterlife. It may also have been a place for esoteric rituals, prayers, or communication with the gods. However, to date, we have not found any signs of ritual objects, inscriptions, or decorations within or around the area believed to be the chamber to support this hypothesis. Its emptiness adds to the mystery. From an engineering and architectural perspective, a more realistic hypothesis is that the secret chamber could have served as a supporting structure. The enormous mass of the pyramid exerts enormous pressure on the corridors and chambers below. This void, given its significant size, could have been designed to help distribute the weight, relieving stress on the Great Gallery and other important areas, ensuring the long-term stability of the entire structure. Similar to the cavities found in many other ancient structures, It could have been a clever engineering solution by the Egyptians to deal with the physical challenges of building such a tall and massive structure. However, whether such a large void was actually necessary for structural support purposes remains to be studied and proven through detailed engineering analysis. Finally, we cannot rule out the possibility that this secret chamber has a purpose that is entirely beyond what we can imagine based on our current knowledge of ancient Egypt. Perhaps it has to do with cultural, scientific, or religious aspects that we do not yet fully understand. It could be a repository for important documents or artifacts, a secret laboratory, or even a structure with deep symbolic meaning that we have not yet been able to decipher. The current emptiness of the chamber, if confirmed when we have access, would only add to the mystery. Were the items that were once stored there moved over time, or was this room originally designed to be empty for a special purpose? The most important thing to emphasize is that, no matter how many hypotheses are put forward, the true purpose of this secret room remains a big mystery, a mystery waiting to be solved. This discovery not only opens up promising new research directions, but is also a reminder of the greatness and complexity of ancient Egyptian civilization. The Giza pyramids, after thousands of years of keeping their secrets, once again challenge our understanding, urging scientists and history lovers around the world to continue their journey of discovery in the hope that one day they will lift the final veil of mystery. When standing in front of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the first and most powerful thing that affects our vision is its incredible massiveness. Imagine millions of stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 to 15 tons, even some weighing up to 70 tons, equivalent to the weight of a modern tank, are stacked on top of each other, towering high in the desert. The total mass of the Great Pyramid is estimated at 5.9 million tons, an overwhelming number, enough to build dozens of skyscrapers today. This enormous scale not only shows the abundant resources that the ancient Egyptians mobilized, but also raises a conundrum about the method of transporting and assembling these giant stones. But the greatness of the Great Pyramid of Giza lies not only in its extraordinary size, but also in the incredible precision in the construction process. The blocks were meticulously cut, with a deviation of only a few millimeters, then joined together so tightly that even a thin blade could hardly pass through. Imagine, no mortar or adhesive was used between the blocks, yet they have remained strong for thousands of years, withstanding many changes in weather and geology. This precision shows a masterful level of engineering and architecture, a deep understanding of materials and dynamics that scientists are still trying to fully decipher today. The precision is also shown in the orientation of the pyramid according to the cardinal directions. The edges of the base of the pyramid are almost perfectly aligned with the north, south, east, and west points, with extremely small errors. This shows that the ancient Egyptians had extremely advanced knowledge of astronomy and geodesy at that time. How they were able to achieve such high precision without modern measuring tools remains one of the greatest mysteries of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Put yourself in the shoes of the builders thousands of years ago. They had only rudimentary tools made of bronze and stone, but were able to move, lift, and assemble millions of giant stone blocks with incredible precision. This is not just a construction project, but also a powerful testament to the willpower, perseverance, and superior intelligence of human beings. The massiveness and extraordinary precision of the Great Pyramid of Giza not only amaze us in its physical scale, but also evoke deep admiration for the civilization that created it, a civilization whose secrets still defy our understanding to this day. The mystery of the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, a great work completed thousands of years ago without the aid of any kind of machinery. How did the ancient Egyptians move, lift, and assemble millions of giant stone blocks with incredible precision? Although there is no single definitive answer, researchers have proposed several possible theories based on archaeological evidence, field experiments, and the engineering knowledge of the time. One of the most popular theories regarding the lifting of the blocks is the use of a system of ramps. It is thought that large ramps were built of mud bricks, sand, and rubble, with a gentle slope surrounding or leading directly to the building. The blocks were then pulled up these ramps by human power, possibly with the aid of a simple pulley system. Although there is no direct evidence of large-scale pulleys at pyramid sites, drawings and miniature models from the period suggest that the ancient Egyptians were familiar with the principle of pulleys. A number of different types of ramps have been proposed. A straight ramp leading directly from the base to the top is probably the simplest method. But it would have become steeper and more difficult as the pyramid grew taller. A spiral ramp around the pyramid would have provided a more stable slope, but would have required a large amount of building material and a large space. Another theory is to use internal ramps built inside the pyramid structure and then dismantled. However, building and dismantling such a large ramp system would have posed many technical challenges. Simple pulley systems, combined with the pulling power of hundreds or even thousands of workers, could have been used to reduce the force required to move the blocks. The blocks could have been placed on wooden sleds, lubricated with water or oil to reduce friction, and then pulled with ropes made from plant fibers or animal skin. However, lifting blocks weighing tens of tons to heights of hundreds of meters was still an incredible feat. The main source of material for the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza was limestone, which was quarried from quarries located close to the construction site. However, some other types of stone, such as the granite used for the inner chambers and sarcophagi, were transported from distant quarries in Aswan, hundreds of kilometers south of Giza. The ancient Egyptians' stone-cutting techniques relied on the use of harder stone tools, such as dolerite, bronze, and wood. They used stone hammers to break up large blocks of stone, then used wet wooden wedges to split the stone along natural cracks. Finally, bronze tools and grinding stones were used to shape and smooth the surfaces of the blocks with great precision. Transporting the huge blocks from the quarries to Giza was a huge logistical challenge. For locally quarried limestone, it was likely transported by sled over well-prepared dirt roads. However, transporting the granite from Aswan, especially the blocks weighing tens of tons, required more complicated methods. Scientists believe that the ancient Egyptians may have used boats to transport the stones along the Nile when the water level rose during the flood season. Once at Giza, the stones were pulled by sledges to the construction site. The construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza was not the work of a small group of people, but the result of the coordinated and organized work of tens of thousands of workers. Historians estimate that between 20,000 and 30,000 workers may have been involved in the project over the course of the decades-long construction period. This workforce included farmers working during the off-season, skilled craftsmen, engineers, architects, and administrators. They were organized into teams, each responsible for a specific stage of the construction process. The workers were provided with housing, food, and clothing, and may have been paid in food or other goods. Evidence from worker settlements found near the pyramids suggests that an efficient system of management and logistics was established to sustain this enormous workforce. The skill of the craftsmen in hewing and assembling the stones, along with the tight organization of the entire construction process, were key factors in completing a complex and massive project like the Great Pyramid of Giza. When we look back at the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, we cannot help but be amazed at the challenges the ancient Egyptians faced without any modern machinery. They had no cranes, trucks, excavators, or any other mechanical tools to assist in this heavy work. Every job, from quarrying, transporting, lifting, and assembling, were all done by human power and rudimentary tools. Moving stone blocks weighing tens of tons with only human power and ropes required a huge workforce and perfect coordination. Lifting them to a height of hundreds of meters without a crane was an extremely difficult engineering problem. Ensuring the precision in cutting and assembling the stone blocks without advanced measuring tools was also a feat. These challenges were not only physical, but also organizational and managerial. Maintaining such a large workforce for many years, ensuring adequate supplies and maintaining working spirit was no easy task. Yet, the ancient Egyptians overcame all these difficulties to create one of the greatest wonders of the world, a testament to human creativity, will, and extraordinary ability. Although theories about the construction techniques of the Great Pyramid of Giza are still being debated and studied, it is clear that it was an extraordinary feat of engineering and organization by the ancient Egyptians. They faced enormous challenges without the aid of modern machinery, and through ingenuity, coordination, and sheer will, they created a monumental structure that has stood the test of time, continuing to amaze and inspire humanity to this day. The most traditional and long-standing theory about the purpose of the Giza pyramids, and in particular the Great Pyramid, is that they were built as great tombs for the pharaohs, the rulers of ancient Egypt. According to this view, the pyramids were not simply final resting places, but were complex structures designed to protect the pharaoh's body and the treasures and valuables they would take with them into the afterlife. The Great Pyramid, for example, is often closely associated with the pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops, a king of the 4th dynasty. The large granite sarcophagus, found in the uppermost and central chamber of the pyramid, known as the King's Chamber, is important evidence to support this hypothesis. Belief in life after death played a central role in ancient Egyptian beliefs. They believed that in order for the pharaoh's soul to continue to exist and rule in the afterlife, his body needed to be preserved intact and provided with all the necessary items. Other royal tombs, although much smaller in scale than the pyramids, have provided abundant evidence of elaborate funeral rituals and items buried with the deceased, including jewelry, furniture, food, drink, and even servants. It is believed that the pyramids, with their grand scale and solid construction, were the ultimate development of the idea of an eternal home for the pharaoh. The complex internal structure of the pyramid, with its sword, the narrow corridors, secret chambers, and protective mechanisms, have also been interpreted as measures to deter tomb robbers and protect the pharaoh's resting place. The central and highest position of the king's chamber, where the sarcophagus was placed, further supports the idea that this was the heart of the tomb, where the pharaoh's soul would reside after death. Although no inscriptions have been found directly inside the Great Pyramid that clearly confirm its tomb purpose, the similarity in concept and structure to other royal tombs, along with the presence of sarcophagi, have made this theory the dominant view for centuries. Although the theory that the Great Pyramid of Giza was the tomb of the pharaohs has long dominated the research community, the mysteries surrounding its structure, size, and the lack of obvious royal inscriptions or burial objects inside the Great Pyramid have inspired many other theories that are stimulating and challenging our imagination. These ideas, while sometimes speculative, open up new perspectives that force us to reconsider the true purpose of these great structures. One of the early theories, based on the massive size and solidity of the pyramids, was that they may have been built as huge storage facilities for wealth and food. In a civilization where floods and famines could occur at any time, building strong structures to preserve wealth and food reserves for times of hardship seemed a reasonable solution. The chambers inside the pyramids, although now empty, were large enough to hold a large amount of goods. Furthermore, the complex structure of corridors and chambers may have been designed to protect against robbers and the elements. The evidence in favor of this theory includes the large size and solidity of the pyramids, suggesting good protection. However, the evidence against this is stronger. Firstly, there is no clear evidence of the use of the inner chambers as storage. No trace of food, pottery containing goods, or any other large treasures has been found. Secondly, the construction of such a massive structure for the sole purpose of storing goods seems to be incongruous with the resources and time spent. Conventional storage facilities could have been built much more simply and efficiently. Another intriguing hypothesis is that the Great Pyramid of Giza may have been used as a giant astronomical observatory. The precise orientation of the pyramid's sides to the cardinal directions and the supposed connection to the constellations, particularly Orion, suggest this idea. The ancient Egyptians had extensive knowledge of astronomy, which was used for farming, calendars, and religious ceremonies. The angles and dimensions of the pyramids may have been meticulously calculated to track the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, helping to determine the timing of important astronomical events. Evidence supporting this theory is the precise orientation of the pyramid and its association with the constellation of Orion, according to some studies. The corridors and ventilation shafts inside the pyramid may also have been designed to point to specific stars at certain times. However, evidence against this includes the lack of obvious astronomical observational equipment inside the pyramid. Furthermore, the primary purpose of an astronomical observatory is usually to observe the sky, while the internal structure of the pyramid is quite discreet and limits visibility. A more spiritual theory suggests that the Giza pyramids were places for special religious ceremonies, even a place to communicate with the gods. Given the deep belief in the afterlife and the close relationship between the pharaoh and the gods, it is not impossible to build a great structure to honor and connect with the sacred world. The ascending sloping corridors may represent the pharaoh's soul's journey to heaven, and the inner chambers may have been the site of esoteric rituals. Evidence supporting this hypothesis is based on the importance of religion in ancient Egyptian society and the sacralization of the pharaoh as an intermediary between humans and the gods. However, evidence against this is the lack of clear drawings, inscriptions, or ritual objects inside the Great Pyramid, especially in the main chambers. While it is possible that rituals were performed in other areas of the complex, or that the ritual objects have been lost over time, the lack of direct evidence remains a major obstacle to this hypothesis. It should be emphasized that the idea of communication with the gods is highly hypothetical and difficult to prove scientifically. In recent decades, a number of more unconventional theories have emerged that suggest that the Great Pyramid of Giza may be a structure with special energetic and spiritual significance. According to these ideas, the pyramid's perfect geometric shape, precise orientation, and geographical location may have been calculated to attract, amplify, or radiate some kind of cosmic or earthly energy. Some believe that the pyramid may have been used for healing purposes, meditation, or achieving higher states of consciousness. The evidence supporting these theories is often based on observations of alleged energetic effects within or around smaller pyramidal structures, as well as symbolic interpretations of the pyramid's shape and proportions. However, the counter-evidence from mainstream science is overwhelming. Ideas about cosmic or spiritual energy are often not based on proven physical principles and lack objective experiments or data to support them. Interpretations of the spiritual significance of an ancient structure are also subjective and difficult to verify using the scientific method. Therefore, it is necessary to approach these hypotheses objectively and scientifically, clearly distinguishing between observations and personal interpretations. When comparing the different hypotheses about the purpose of the Great Pyramid of Giza, we see that each idea has some supporting evidence, often based on physical aspects of the structure, ancient Egyptian knowledge, or symbolic interpretations. However, most of these theories also face significant counter-evidence, mainly due to the lack of artifacts, inscriptions, or direct evidence inside the Great Pyramid, as well as the difficulty in explaining the scale and complexity of the structure with a single purpose. The Pharaoh tomb hypothesis, despite its weaknesses, is still considered the most reasonable due to its similarity to other royal tombs and the presence of stone sarcophagi. However, mysteries remain, urging researchers to continue searching for more satisfactory answers. Perhaps the true purpose of the Giza pyramid is not as simple as we think, but a combination of many factors: a tomb, a religious symbol, an astronomical observatory, or even holding secrets that we have yet to imagine. Whatever the true purpose of the Giza pyramid, its greatness and mystery continue to fascinate and challenge humanity. The various theories we have explored are just small pieces of the huge puzzle of ancient Egyptian civilization, a civilization whose legacy still holds countless wonders waiting to be discovered. You want to learn something new every day? This channel is for you. Subscribe to get the latest tutorials and lessons.